Welcome friends to another r/I don't work here lady video. Our first story of the day is by the mailman cometh. Donating unneeded items to an animal shelter does not make my dog adoptable. So this happened to me a few months ago. Just posting now because, quite frankly, I've finally dealt with the circumstances. My older dog had to be put down, which sucked. Yeah, but I didn't feel right just throwing his stuff out. Things like his harness, leash, travel, kennel, etc. So I cleaned it all up and took it down to the local animal shelter. One of my younger dogs is in training to be an emotional support animal for my wife. He had his work harness and clear signage that he was in training along with his name. He's also an alumni of this particular animal shelter, so I took him along while I was dropping my older dog's stuff off. Younger dog, being in ESA training, is very sociable and likes to say hi to everyone, especially kids. He loves kids and they love him. This particular child, however, was probably too young to read the Ask to Pet badges on his harness, however. I doubt his mother was, though. Fred, my younger dog, however, willingly breaks the rules if it means he gets FaceTime with a kiddo. So I interrupt, make Fred sit, then release him to get loved on. While I was talking with one of the shelter workers about my older dog, Mother interrupts and asks for an adoption form. Okay, cool, that's what shelters are for. I did not immediately realize she was talking to me because of having my attention split between the shelter worker, my dog, and, well, her kid. The shelter worker asks, "Who did you pick?" The mom says, "This one," points at Fred. "Think he's too old to change his name?" The shelter worker gives me a panicked look. I say, ma'am, this is my dog. I only brought him along because we got him here about a year ago." She says, "Well, you brought him back. I want to adopt him." The shelter worker says he's not surrendering his dog, he was bringing in some donations. The mom gives us an angry glare at both of us and says, "You shouldn't have non-adoptable animals in a shelter." Now the kid's crying because his mother assumed anything with 4 legs was fair game and told him they could take my dog home. She snaps, "See what you did? I hope you're happy," stomps out, darn near forgetting her own crying child. Note, Fred is my first attempt at training an emotional support animal, though I do have long experience with hunting and general obedience training, but I think I'm doing okay. This is the second time someone's gotten pissy with me because I wouldn't let them adopt or buy Fred. In a way, I don't blame the mom, only in the sense that it's very easy to love a dog that's pretty well trained. If there was ever a chance to get a dog that was trained with ESA, especially for cheap, I could see why people would want to go for it. That said, this mom seemed a little clueless and a little too feisty. Also, why did she want to change the name? Is Fred that weird of a name for a dog? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Stefan IX. Let my son play with a venomous snake. This was all pre-COVID. I was at a zoo with my family and some friends. They had some reptiles there. I'm into snakes and know a bit about them, so I was in front of an enclosure with a legless lizard inside. I started to explain that this isn't a snake, it's a lizard, and how you can tell the difference. After I explained that to my family, a woman approached me. She says, "You explained that so nice. Could you tell my kids that too?" Turns out, it was a whole class from an elementary school. I started to explain about some different reptiles. When I finished, the woman thanked me 1,000 times and went on with her class. After they were gone, a different woman approached me. The entitled mom says, "Hey, could my son play with this snake?" She pointed to a venomous snake. I don't remember which one, but it could kill an adult easily. I say, first of all, a snake isn't a toy. Also, this snake is venomous and I don't work here. She says, "Don't you lie, I saw you explain to a class." I say I did this because I know about reptiles and wanted to share the knowledge. Also, I'm not wearing anything like working clothes. She says, "Listen, kid." I was 16. "I know the owner of the zoo. My son often plays with that snake. And if you don't open the enclosure now, I will have you fired today." I say, "Fine, go ahead." She says, "You're going to regret this." She tried to slap me. I just stepped back, and she walked away to the entrance. Later, when we wanted to leave, the woman was waiting at the exit with the manager. I guess the woman pointed at me, and the man next to her laughed. I walked closer and heard the man say, "This young man doesn't work here." The entitled mother says, "But he explained about animals to the children." I say, "Because I'm a nice person and wanted to share my knowledge." The man says, "That's pretty nice from you." Then to the woman says, "This man doesn't work here. I hope you never harass him again." The entitled mom stormed off and the man said, "I'm really sorry. Is there anything I can do to make it up?" And I said, "Nah, I'm fine." That's definitely one of the worst forms of Karens to deal with, but the plus thing in this situation that doesn't happen in most of them is the Karen actually went to try and find the manager themselves. Usually they just stand in one spot and spin around spewing hot air like, "Where's the manager? Where's an employee? I need to get this person fired." This next story is by Tubist61. 2 turkeys? A good few years ago, I was a paramedic in the UK. This was in the days when the police, fire service, and ambulance services all wore blue shirts with black epaulets, dark blue trousers, and a black clip-off tie. It would be easy to mistake us for one of the other services. Christmas was approaching, and I went to a local farm to order and pay for a small Christmas turkey, arranging to collect it on Christmas Eve. I was not in working clothing at the time, just in civvies. These were the days that there was just me and my wife at home, and I was rotated on to work Christmas Day late shift, so we were seeing family later in the week. I finished my early shift Christmas Eve and headed to the farm to collect my turkey. This time I was wearing my work clothes. I went to the little shop where everyone else was collecting turkeys, and the young lady sorting the orders asked my name and went off to collect my bird. As I was waiting, the farmer came out and saw me and asked if I had come to collect the bird he was donating to the local police station as a sign of his support. I told him I wasn't from the police station and was just collecting my Christmas dinner, but he was having none of it. He disappeared and returned with one of the biggest turkeys I'd ever seen. I tried and tried to tell him I couldn't take it, but no seemed to fall on deaf ears. And no matter how hard I tried to explain I didn't work at the police station, I ended up leaving with my 5-kilogram bird and this enormous 12-kilogram bird. My next stop was the local police station. After all, the farmer wanted them to have it, so I drove down, parked up, got the turkey out, and went to the reception desk. The officer at the desk listened to the story and disappeared, coming back with the inspector on duty. His opening gambit was, "We don't want it." I told them neither do I, but the response was, "You can just take any." My next idea was, "Okay, it's lost property, and I'm handing it in." I thought that was a clever idea. They would have to take it. No such luck. The inspector came straight back with, "It's okay, we know where it came from and the owner won't claim it back, so as you found it, you can keep it." The farmer wouldn't accept I didn't work at the police station, and the police refused the turkey. It ended up going to my mom's house where it was put in the freezer and was donated to a local old folks home after the holidays were over. At least then, it went to good use. I think the takeaway here is OP's a good guy. They tried to take it to the police station where it was meant to go, and they tried everything they could to get them to take it. When that failed, not because of a lack of trying, they ended up giving it to a place where they could donate it to people who could really use it. It ended up being used in just about probably the best way possible. People who could really use it got to enjoy it. Our next story is by Berlin Reps. I wasn't even 14. So, about 10 years ago now, give or take, I went shopping at a certain large store where the uniform typically consists of navy blue shirts and khakis. That same year, my school system chose to implement a dress code with very similar attire. I was too lazy to change clothes when I got home, so I typically would end up going to the store wearing my school clothes. One day, I walked away from my parents to go to the bathroom, and on my way back, this lady stopped me. She wanted me to show her the bathroom skills, and I told her how to get there, but she insisted I showed her to it, since I clearly worked there. I had no idea how to react. I was around 12 to 13 years old, so I walked her over to what she wanted and tried to walk away. but she called me back, calling me rude for walking away from her and how it was poor customer service. At this point, I've heard my name paged at least twice over the loudspeakers. I didn't have a phone yet, and I knew my parents were probably going to start panicking. The store finally calls a code Adam, missing child in store. And within about 2 minutes of arguing with the lady that I didn't work there, I was too young, I was surrounded by real employees. She yelled at them as they led me away to my parents, and I know store security talked to her. What happened beyond that? I don't know. To those who will probably ask why I didn't just walk away, the woman was an elder, and I was taught to respect elders. I was taught quickly after that there are additional boundaries to that rule. When I was reading this story, one thing that stuck in my mind was changing your clothes after you got home from school. Not necessarily specifically a uniform, but just the clothes in general. To clarify, I didn't have a uniform, but am I weird for most days not changing clothes after I got home from school? Whatever I wore to school, I wore around home, and whatever I would wear around home, as long as it was clean, I would wear to school. I don't know if that's weird or bad etiquette or what. This next story is by Lucky Mariner. Rude to me? I'll be rude right back. Few preliminary notes. 1. This happened about 5 years ago, so everything may not be fresh in my mind. 2. I'm a tall girl, about 6 feet tall, and 99 times out of 100, I'm more than happy to help someone because of my height if they ask politely. This one time, someone wasn't. Cast of characters: me, Sally, my friend who actually works there, Karen, the Karen of this story, and manager. The manager of the store turned out to be a pretty nice guy. On to the story. About 5 years ago, I was home from college and had run to the grocery store to pick up a few things for my mom for dinner that night. As I'm browsing the aisles, I can hear a lady clear her throat. And when I don't respond, she says in a rude tone, "Girl, can I get some help here?" Now I admit, I could have said something different, but I don't react well to rudeness and people calling me girl. Since this seems to be popular here, let me tell you what I was wearing. Floral Hawaiian-style shirt, torn jeans, and white high-top Reeboks, so nothing like what a store employee wears. I just said, "Can you slap a please on that?" She didn't like that and stormed off. I just thought she went to go do it herself or find an employee to help. But I was wrong on that assumption. I continued shopping and ran into Sally, a former friend of mine from high school that I hadn't seen in a while. We were exchanging small talk. How are you? What have you been up to? That sort of stuff. When Karen came up the aisle with the manager in tow. She then stopped and told the manager, "That's the one who was rude to me. Discipline her." The manager called Sally over and began to lecture her on her behavior. When Karen yelled out, "Not her, the big girl." The manager looked at me, then at Karen and said, "I thought you said it was an employee. She doesn't work here." Karen looked at him and then said, "What do you mean she doesn't work here?" "Well, kick her out of the store anyway." The manager turned to me and said, "This lady says you were rude to her. Is this true?" I said, "No ruder than she was to me. If you're going to kick me out, kick her out as well." This elicited a gasp from Karen, who turned around and walked out of the aisle. The manager then told me, "Karen's always a problem shopper here, but this is the first time she's complained about a customer and not an employee. What did you say to her?" So I told him the story, to which he laughed. I then went and finished my shopping and never saw Karen again. Opie actually went on to apologize about not having like a big dramatic Big Bang ending, but honestly this ending is about as much of a happily ever after ending as you can possibly have in these situations. If half the people on this subreddit could end up with a Karen walking off, and just that being the end of it, then we probably wouldn't have much source material to go off of. It's always nice when the manager just understands and isn't accusatory. It helps that she was kind of a prior offender, but still. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.